Greetings, GameCola faithful, and welcome back to more Let's Play Dragon Warrior. In the last episode, we did some more exploration of this region, and we fought a few magicians, narrowly escaped with our lives, but now we have amassed enough gold to buy ourselves a copper sword. And now we're gonna move onward. But in the interim, Nathaniel has found something interesting about this game.
Yeah, why don't you go beat up some monsters while we're talking here?
Okay,
So it turns out, I don't think I knew this before, that the name you give your character affects your stats. So, because we named ourselves GameCola, we have normal other stats, but we get a penalty to strength and agility.
Huh.
Great.
And which for me I feel like is the worst possible combination of things that we could have been hit with.
Yeah.
But it's not just, we picked a uniquely bad name. My understanding is that there's a very particular system that figures out exactly, this character means this, that character means that. And it's a trade-off every time of two of your core stats are totally normal, two of your core stats get penalized. Mm-hmm. So it's not like we just picked a particularly bad one, it's just these two versus any other two.
Yeah, so what stats are not penalized in this case? Because we have on our status screen here, I see strength and agility. So is it like our max HP and MP, which have not been
Hips
penalized?
and MIPS, that's right.
Hips and MIPS. Well, that's all right. I felt like we have had a very nice, generous amount of hips and MIPS throughout this playthrough. Interesting though. So we're kind of reduced on our command. We're reduced on our strength and agility. Very interesting.
So in looking up how long this game would take, I did watch a speed run, and apparently the speed run tactic is to just name yourself an exclamation point. And I don't know. I did not look up whether, in this sort of format that Nathaniel was just describing, if that maybe gives you no negatives, maybe? I wonder.
That'd be...
Nathaniel?
Actually, it looks like there's a little more variation. It's not just, these stats are boosted, these aren't. It looks like there's degrees of it, like a +0 bonus to a +3 bonus, something like that. I did not take the time to fully process and absorb all of the information, but if you want to see it for yourself, I can recommend this website, which I used for my Final Fantasy recent playthrough just to check things out. It's Gamer Corner Guides, guides.gamercorner.net.
Oh, Nathaniel.
What happened?
Nathaniel has disappeared. I believe he will be back momentarily.
Oh. He's been struck down.
Gamer
Corner is too similar to GameCola.
Yeah. Nathaniel!
Welcome back!
One of the
Wrong button?
I've been noticing is that it's time for a new mouse, because when I single click the close window button, sometimes it double clicks and closes everything that I currently have open.
You don't happen to have a Logitech G603, do you? Because mine is doing the exact same thing.
I have, what is this? This is not my original mouse. This is a tiny travel Dell. It's one my wife dug out from a laptop, I think. Because my other mouse failed on me, needed a replacement stat, and so that's one that I've been just using. We had on hand, I've been using ever since. But yeah, all of the mice in our house are failing. I don't know what it is.
Too many cats.
So sorry. I did also want to follow up on what I had said last time about Nestor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you had brought up, of course, that Nestor was kind of
the mascot of Nintendo Power magazine.
Yeah, right. He had his own comic and everything. But I don't know if the two of you were aware that Nintendo Power gave away copies of Dragon Warrior.
I was aware of that. I figured, because I was looking on eBay, and I found that I was surprised at how cheap copies of Dragon Warrior 1 specifically are, because copies of the later games are not cheap to buy secondhand.
Yeah. And I think that that's a large part of the reason there is that, I know for myself, I got that free copy. So.
Do we want to save while we're here?
That's a good point. That's what I came here to do, but I'm just on autopilot.
Oh, sorry. Another fun thing that we were discussing in the last video, for all of those who are watching all these, in order, you were talking about the translation differences between, the original Final Fantasy and your cool, re-updated Final Fantasy.
Which I should add also fixed several of the bugs, like the special swords not doing any extra damage to the monster types they're supposed to, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to do that.
What'd you do?
I said I did not want to continue my adventure.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody.
I guess this is a short episode. Bye, everybody.
Sorry, what was I saying? I was saying
translation differences.
Yeah, so I don't know if you knew also that, heal and hurt are not the original names of these spells.
Oh, really?
But similarly to what Nathaniel was saying about Final Fantasy, that they just gave them like fantasy names. So like heal was Hoimi, and so Healy, the heal slime, was Hoimin.
Oh,
that's funny. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I can just jump in here, suggestion.
Yes.
We want to spice things up a little bit.
I'm trying to figure out where to. I feel like I've got to be able to go to a new place. Cross the bridge. All
Cross the bridge.
Is it that time?
Beeline for the right. And even if you are horribly outclassed and dying, just make a run for it. See how far you can get.
All right. See what
if you can make it to the next town.
Yeah, I did just save. We're gonna see the sights. All right.
But yes, you were saying.
Oh, yeah, that was about it. That, the spell names, it is so silly. Again, like, what did we miss out on from that, right? That, like, in Japan, again, I remember being surprised when Final Fantasy VII started calling the money Gil.
Right.
I was like, what is this? Is this a typo? What are you guys doing, Gil? But apparently it was always Gil. And that, like, Japan really liked having fantasy names, just made up stuff. Sorry, made up stuff that just like, yeah. Sorry, sometimes I just am blank to it and I just keep talking while it's like.
Now go right. See, now we're on the other side of the.
I see.
The swamp pile there.
In case you want to take the significantly less optimal path to this part of the region.
What if I just took some damage while coming this way?
Well, I like it because it's more direct, so if you were actively taking damage from the monsters here, and you have fewer encounters, that may be a more efficient way to go at lower levels.
That's a good point, actually. Very good point. All right. Oh, nice. One-shot the magician.
Excellent.
Oh.
And level up.
I love that little jingle. That just makes me so happy. Yeah. And I like courage and wit have served thee well. Like, I love how much this game builds you up just for surviving a battle.
Yeah.
Just for getting a critical hit. Like, it feels good to be on the receiving end of this in the game. It
rewards you for all the little things that you're going to be doing a lot, and I really appreciate that. All right. Very, very nice. Now we have another bridge. I'm going to cross that. Still the same enemies as before, which is luring me clearly into a false sense of security. I just know that in any second now, I'm going to get run over by some kind of crazy, powerful monster. What's up to the north? Oh, a Magidraki.
Magidraki.
All right, we're going to cast Hurt. I like to imagine I'm just shouting, Hurt!
Oh, nice. Yeah.
All right, nice. Took him out. Ooh, a forest town. All right, let's try attacking the Magidraki without using magic. 7. Okay, he cast Hurt. 8 hit points.
That's kind of bad, but...
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you're doing fine.
About not too much worse than the magicians, really. Actually, I do more damage with them dealing physical damage wise. All right.
Whee!
Excellent. Now, this is the village of Call.
Santa did not think well of you this year.
The whole...
Please save us from the minions of the Dragon Lord.
Dreadful is the South Island. Great strength and skill and wit only will bring thee back from that place.
I see. East of Hawksness, there is a town, 'tis said, where one may purchase weapons of extraordinary quality.
I do love the ye olde English in this game. That just, it gives it so much character.
When I was doing the fan translation patch for the Super Nintendo version of Dragon Quest III, I believe they had two options for the translation. One which was a regular English like modern Dragon Quest, and one which was a Dragon Warrior like Old English. I thought that was
cool.
very neat.
I like that.
All right. Dost thou wish to buy anything today? All right. Oh,
And it's so weird going from
wow.
this into the later games that take place in the same universe, or like similar, if not this one. Because I know 1, 2, 3 are in the same continuity, 4, 5, 6 are in the same continuity, if I'm not mistaken. They kind of have like their own unique world for that trio of games. But it's sort of weird to go from this to like Dragon Quest V DS, where people are speaking with like southern accents and like various accents from around the world.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is slightly different from what I remember.
But it's cool as well. And here, real quick, I should probably ask before I continue. Is the small shield, which I can buy for 90 gold, is that worth
Currently,
it?
you have no shield, and that doesn't replace your armor. That's a new slot altogether.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if that might be worth it, since there's going to be some stronger enemies here. All right, then I'll grab that. Is that okay? That's weird. Why do they... That's period question mark. Huh. Anyway, what I was going to say is again, speaking of more modern RPGs that I'm familiar with, is, of course, the Xenoblade games. And Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in particular... I'm sorry, I know I'm talking over...
Yeah.
Golem is afraid of
Golem
the music.
is afraid of the music of the flute. So 'tis said.
Interesting. I like
That'll be
that
important
phrase.
later.
In Xenoblade Chronicles 2, each sort of continent or country that you visit, the voice actors are all speaking using a different English accent from some different various part of Europe. So like the Gormati race of sort of like cat people all have Welsh accents. The Ardanians on the Titan of Mor Ardain are all Scottish. The people of the Urian Titan are all Australian. And the Blades, the creatures of sort of the mythological creatures, have American accents. And I just think that that's such a clever way of going about showing regional differences in peoples in a localization. I think that's really interesting. I don't know how the Japanese version did it, but I must imagine they did something similar.
Yeah.
Versus Chrono Cross, for example, which supposedly takes place in the same universe as Chrono Trigger, but I don't buy it because every single person you speak to has a completely different speech pattern. You have like the French clown, you have like everybody has their own accent, and they wrote like algorithms. It's not like someone manually wrote it. I understand that they created algorithms to specifically transform words into accented versions of those words.
What is
that part
going
I didn't
on
know.
with this guy?
Yeah.
He clearly wants you to hurt.
I guess so. All right. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, I took the long path. Ow. Though thou art as brave as thy ancestor, GameCola, thou cannot defeat the great Dragon Lord with such weapons. Thou shouldst come here again.
What? What a jerk.
He just tells me your equipment is trash. Be gone with you. All right, great.
Rude.
Ow.
Just to spite you, I'm going to die in your swamp.
Yeah, ow. All right, great. Thanks, buddy. All right, what do you have to say?
Art thou the descendant of Erdrick? Hast thou any proof?
Well, here I have this tablet I found in a cave somewhere. I guess that's not good enough.
Is this the town of, like, we like your father, we don't like you?
Yeah, maybe.
You're just not good enough. You don't measure up.
There's clearly a plot out to kill me. Just making me talk to NPCs requires hurting myself. Interesting.
Just wait until you go talk to that guy
Oh.
that you have to take 30 damage to speak to.
My controller has stopped functioning.
Oh no!
Oh, that's good.
That's good?
I mean, usually, right? Is it?
If your controller
there
stops
you go.
functioning?
Yeah. All right. There we go. Who would be this?
It'd be me. It's always me. Rimmildar is the place to buy keys.
Okay. Well, that gives us a name of a place to check out next time.
Or maybe it's Remulder, and there's a
Remulder.
town called Riscully.
Yeah.
I want to
Tool
believe.
Shop. Wings. They're not even wings
there
of the
you go.
wyvern. They're so
Oh,
expensive.
that's right.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
70
Well-
gold.
They are a get-out-of-jail-free card for any situation you might put yourself in on the overworld.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Speaking of which, let's wander about because I think I'm far enough away that I would rather just heal up at this town, but it does cost 20 gold per heal. But I think these guys
See-
drop 11 or so gold per defeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking you just bought new equipment, so you definitely want to save.
Yeah, that's a
Because
good
if you
point.
get distracted and then you're like, oh, okay, well, I died, I had to reset, and then you've forgotten what you bought and equipped yourself with, and then you go march out and get yourself killed again because you're like, wait a second, didn't I have a shield? Well, no, not on this save file.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh, yeah.
point. Though what I think I am going to do, I'm going to heal up at the inn before going to save. I think that might be the wiser option because I am less than half. I have less than half of my magic remaining. I don't think I talked to most of these people because we were busy. Oh,
Oh,
This
this
bath
bath
cures-
cures rheumatism.
great!
Now,
If only
if
I
we
could
want
get
a
in
sequence, if we want a sequence break,
it.
we can actually pick up an item here that you can get now. You don't find out about it,
Yeah.
where it actually is until later, but you can get it now, which then it allows us to safely enter a town that's on the other side of the world that sells the best sword money can buy.
Oh.
And so one of the things that I like
Oh,
to
yeah.
do when I'm playing this is I'll sequence break, and I think it's either 2,000 or 4,000 gold, I think, to get
Wow.
the sword. So obviously we're a long way off from that. But
Yeah.
once it's even remotely feasible to buy the sword from that town, I'll go grab this item, and I will beeline for the town, and I will run the heck away from every single monster that is so very threatening, because I have no business being in that part of the world yet. But if you actually make it there,
Yeah.
you get a fantastic weapon that
Interesting.
really makes the entire rest of it, takes off a lot of the grinding for the rest of the game.
That sounds like a good idea to me. Also, just another small detail I noticed, which is that the sleeping music is not what I'm used to. I'm used to do 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 do. But here it's do 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 do, which is
Well, that's
different.
the sleeping music is do 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 do. This is the you just woke up music.
I see. But let's
now-
go.
Sorry, do we want to say where the thing is? Because
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm okay with that. We can call it like the playground hint.
because I think it's south
It's
from
south
that.
of the bath.
Yeah.
south
So
of the bath.
so if you want to just
So
like
just
start
search the
searching
ground
and head
all about.
north, and then head north, and it's gonna be somewhere in there.
Oh wow, I am a total liar.
Is it?
No, not about that. The sword that I'm thinking of is almost 10,000 gold.
Wow!
Oh,
I
okay.
discovered
Well.
the fairy flute.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, I would be curious to know how you're supposed to find that naturally, and then you have to come all the
Oh, I
way
mean,
back here. I guess.
You get a clue.
Okay.
Yeah, some NPC kind of tells you something vaguely, almost like that.
I
we
also
talked to
like
this guy.
that every NPC in this game is useful.
Yeah.
Mm.
That even though they don't have much to say, what they do say is valuable. Like there's gameplay hints, and if there isn't a gameplay hint, there is a very basic piece of world building that helps, doesn't completely transform the game and make it totally immersive, but it helps flesh out the world enough. Again, comparing this with Final Fantasy, the original, where we have a lot of people who are, just kind of there taking up space, some people duplicating what other people say, maybe in case you missed the first person, but, there's sort of like the sages at Crescent Lake. It's like, half of them don't actually, maybe it's kind of world building, but I feel like a lot of them don't actually say anything terribly useful that couldn't have been said by fewer sages.
Yeah. It's not very immersive to have people who just constantly tell me the same thing over and over. But then again, I guess maybe. That does happen sometimes in life, but it's usually not the kind of immersion I'm looking for.
The interesting thing about the Final Fantasy Restored that I played, I had never seen anything about the Japanese version before. I did not realize just how aggressively they borrowed from Dungeons and Dragons. There's a little bit of evidence in the US version, but like so many monster names, so many, concepts in there were just straight up from D&D. And so I was bracing myself. I'm like, okay, I'm in the ice cave. I'm going to go get the floater or whatever they're calling it now in this translation. And I know I'm going to go fight the eye, the big, creepy, love it, hate it eye. And it's not the big, creepy, love it, hate it eye. It is a straight up beholder.
Oh, wow.
Which I can understand why they would have changed that if they didn't have the, the licensing to use an actual beholder.
Interesting.
I guess that's funny. I didn't know about that, but I had always thought about their magic system, right? Where, like, you get specific spell levels that you can, cast specific amounts
which is
of each
very
type.
D&D.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not realize that. Man, it's just called a beholder. I feel like I've
No, not just called a beholder. The sprite was completely different. Like it had that same characteristic, like the face and the it kind of had the general look about it, but it was actually big floating sphere with a bunch of eye stalks.
Oh wow!
Instead of big eye with like little tentacle feet.
Interesting. Always interesting when stuff like that happens, and you're just like, wow, that's interesting. I bet they didn't technically have the rights to use that. All right, we're gonna talk to this guy, heal the MP. All right,
but that might actually be an interesting playthrough at some point if there's enough interest in classic RPGs to play Final Fantasy Restored on stream.
Sure.
I say on stream. I'm so used to streaming anymore. This is a YouTube video.
Yep. Flashman 85 recorded.
Yeah. But that might be interesting.
Yeah, I'd be down. Wow, 182 experience points to the next level. Man, look how far we've come. I've got 268 experience. I'm level 6. I've got 38 HP, 24 MP. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, just for fun, like if you can quick save or something, just tell the king off and say, no, I don't want to save my game. No, I don't want to keep playing. See if he's got a response for that.
Okay, well, I did just save, so I can just...
I guess you could just restart.
Yeah. Let me just save twice, just to be 100% sure that it takes. That's the way that it goes.
Don't want to oversave. You'll blow up the battery.
This is a modern cartridge. It's fine. All right, will that tell me IDs? No.
Oh, he doesn't even... Okay. Other games will be like, are you serious? Do you really want to lose all your progress? Apparently not here.
I guess maybe they figured, well, if you wanted to lose your progress, you might as well just hit the reset button without saving. Like,
yeah, right?
So actually, I do have something to kind of say about that.
Yeah.
So one time, I was playing, on my actual cartridge on my actual NES. I don't think it was the original one. I think I was playing Dragon Warrior 4. And I put it in. It had been a while since I had last played. And it loads up and it gives me this like terrifying, like it starts off with like the death sound.
Oh, when like your save
And-
was corrupted?
It was, and it had a special message and a special screen and everything. Like it was all red, like you know when you get low on health,
Uh-huh.
that it like makes the borders red
Yeah.
and stuff. It was like that,
Yeah.
and it gives me like the death sound, and it's like there was an error, loading your data. Please reset. And like, I'm
That's
trying to remember.
terrifying.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it gave me like a game relevant message that it was like, oh no, the bad guy, he deleted your save, haha.
Oh, that would be
I-
so evil.
I don't remember exactly what the phrasing was, but like when it happened, it literally scared me because I had never had that happen before.
Yeah.
So yeah, like being that, it's an original cartridge, it's decades old.
Yeah.
It just got corrupted at some point, and
Yeah, just the
very, very
checksum.
Comical.
Check
Yeah.
failed, and so because I think I know what that is, because it's like the
Yeah, that one.
I know that
Um,
sound from in Dragon Quest VIII if you put on a piece of cursed equipment.
And that's exactly what you'll get if you put on a piece of cursed equipment here.
Oh, interesting. They have cursed equipment in this game?
Just one.
Just one. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder if we'll hear about it from the various townsfolk.
Well, you remember we already talked to a townsfolk who said, hey, if you ever get cursed, I'm your guy.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Well, I mean, my first thought was to go to that spring that cures rheumatism. Feel like
I mean, I guess it depends on what the curse is,
what
right?
to be. That's what I was thinking. It depends on the curse. Is this like that sounds like a curse to me? Oh, a skeleton draws near. Oh man. Something else I love is seeing how they the monster designs have really carried through. Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on this guy. Okay, excellent move. Oh, wow,
nice.
he took 21 damage. Okay, we're
Yeah.
gonna cast
Yeah.
hurt. Just to be
Oh,
safe.
I would heal.
Yeah.
Whew.
Oh, what? Okay, you lucked out.
Okay,
You
all
lucked
right.
out.
We're gonna. All
Yeah.
right, I'm tempting. I tempt not the fates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
double
my-
heal there.
Especially with older RPGs where I know sometimes they will pull the rug out from under you.
Yeah.
My approach is generally new monster, especially if it's a scary looking monster, or if it's one that looks like, oh, look at this tiny little Shampuru. It's so cute. It couldn't possibly hurt me. Pull out all the stops. Just, especially if you're close to a town or something, you can recover your magic. Like, just go on full-on boss fight.
Yeah.
And then if you're like, oh, that was over really quickly, guess I don't need to try that hard.
Mhm.
Which is better than, oh, wow, guess I should have not set myself up to die.
Yeah, it's interesting because but yeah, the monster designs, seeing them, because again, my most familiar part or memories are of how they appear in Dragon Quest VIII, which is my most played. I think I've played Dragon Quest VIII 3 times now, or I'm starting my 3rd playthrough, and that's like recent as well. All right, oh yeah, plenty of gold to go to the inn. But like the skeleton design is basically completely unchanged from the sprite work
Yeah.
in this game, and I love to see that. And then of course there's enemy designs which I'm not familiar with, which I've never seen, like the ghost. I've never seen that in Dragon
Yeah.
Quest VIII. I don't think that enemy's in that game.
Yeah.
I wander around.
Man, can I also say, look at how much gold you already have, right? Like,
Yeah.
that. Talking about small numbers, right? We had talked about like, oh yeah, getting 1 hit point or 1 EXP and 1 gold and whatever. And like, look at what a difference it is just to be doing. Yeah, you get 5 and 11, or doing. Let's see. Yeah. Oh wow, you only did 4 damage.
Yep.
But like, what a difference, doing 4 to 7 damage is compared with doing 2 damage, 1 damage. Like in a modern game, right? Like the concept of doing 100 to 200 damage versus
Like,
700
that's
damage.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
well,
are those are
and
those are
just, like,
those are level 1 numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
that just made me think of another game that is similar to that. That's a little more modern. Is the Paper Mario games? I feel like are good examples of that. Oh, I'm gonna heal up here.
Yeah.
But the Paper Mario games, like you start out doing 1 or 2 damage per hit at most. The Mario and Luigi games, to a lesser extent, I think, do that. Like the numbers are still small. You're dealing like 7 to 12 damage or so. But yeah, I really have to say I'm starting to appreciate the sort of small, easily digestible numbers. Doing a little bit of grinding now just to try and, because man, that skeleton really roughed me up, and now I'm a little, man, these magicians keep catching me by surprise, and it bothers me. Where are they coming from? I guess I'm just wandering around in a forest, so fair enough, but man.
Well, the other thing you could do is you could go back one bridge where I think you occasionally saw a magician. How's your
I feel
health?
like you're...
Let's find, a scorpion.
Ooh,
All right.
Oh, boy.
There we go, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, especially at your hit points currently.
Heal
Yeah.
4. Okay.
Okay, maybe you'll do all right.
Hurt.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think that hurt really does that great.
Well,
Oh,
12
no, I guess it
damage
does
doesn't
good
seem
sometimes.
bad.
Okay.
Try that
Yeah,
again.
never mind.
7. 4. All right, I'm doing
Wait.
okay.
Now, make sure you got enough for one heal yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
use a heal right now.
Okay.
2. Okay, not bad.
That's
I'm gonna
not so
give it
bad.
1 more hurt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
6 points of experience, 14 points of gold. All right, yeah, that is a monster right there. I'm gonna go back to town and heal up again. Oh man,
Yeah.
now I've got to be really careful. I do have the 1 remaining herb in my inventory
Right,
if things
yeah.
get really, really sketchy. Okay, now I'm starting to defeat these Magidrakis without too much trouble. I'm feeling a little better.
Yeah.
But that's
So-
the scorpion and skeleton.
Now, by the time, if you head back to the king and save, or actually, if you head back to the other town, I can't remember if they're selling it here, you
Yeah.
can get the next armor upgrade for 300.
Oh,
you'll,
is that
you'll be about there.
the large, like the plate armor or something?
Yeah,
No, chain.
or not plate, chain.
Chainmail.
You might, chainmail.
Yeah.
That sounds right. That's a good point. All right, heal it up. Now I got my charges of heal spell. Charges. I have my MP with which I can cast heal. I really like that in this game that also the magic spell is continuing to be useful, because the one thing I will say about the more modern Dragon Quest games I played is that your fire spell, the first fire spell that you get, like Frizz, I think they call it in the modern games, is not
Yeah.
really significantly better than a regular attack, except that it costs a consumable resource, and that just I've always been bothered by that. But in this case, like, that is doing, probably about 50% more damage than my regular attack, and I would hope that continues to scale, but I'm not counting on it, because generally that's not how magic works. But
I do appreciate their attempt to relocalize the spell names rather than keeping it heal and hurt, that they put frizz and sizz and stuff.
Oh, Dragon Quest spell names in the modern games are some of my
They're so
favorite
fun.
things. They're so
Yeah.
whimsical. We have, like, the instant kill being whack, thwack, and kathwack. We have bang, boom, and kaboom.
Yeah, because it is fairly similar that, like, in Japanese, what we call sizz, right? Like sizz, like sizzle, they call it meta, which is like, if you think about like a fire, they would say that it's like, oh, it's crackling, it's meta. So there is they did an excellent job at trying to keep
If
the
I might
feel.
interject, just to raise funds a little bit more, maybe hang around the outskirts of the bridge, so that we're fighting slightly larger enemies and doing just a little less grinding on the smaller ones.
Good
I think
point.
am I wrong? Would I be dangerous putting us to the south of town? Because I
think
could
I
have sworn
went
you
there.
fight scorpions and stuff around there as well.
Oh, really?
Not to the south of the first town, but the south of the town that we're trying to purchase the stuff from.
Yeah, we could try
Um,
there. I think we did push down pretty far, and it was still slimes, but that doesn't mean there aren't other things. Like, we did run into a warlock or two along there.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
bridge as well to the west, if I recall.
Yeah, that one's the don't go over this yet, you'll die bridge.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
That one I
lied.
definitely remember. Now, of course, my memory has been known to be faulty on this game already, but
Yeah.
I am fairly certain that's where some heavy hitters live, where you're probably not ready for them yet.
Yeah.
Like, you could fight one, and it would be a proper boss battle, and you would need to retreat. Actually, to that end, yeah.
I'm gonna head back to the
Yeah,
castle, I
probably
think,
not
and
worth it.
save.
Yeah.
And then you know what? We could be a little adventurous. I can go save at the castle.
That's true. Go save, and then cross the bridge and see what happens.
Yeah. Just have a little bit of adventurous spirit, you know?
Oh, did we ever get the secret item from...
We did. The fairy flute.
We did.
The fair flute.
How do I keep missing this stuff? I'm watching the screen. I'm here. I'm present. Maybe I'm just getting hungry, man.
Yeah. Well, listen, I gave you the chance to eat before we.
I know, and
we
I
started
did. I
this.
had honey nut checks. Do you want to
Oh.
recover your
Oh,
magic
man.
and hit points while you're here?
Yep. See, how am I missing this? I'm the one playing the game.
Oh yeah, sorry. I did want to point out you have the shield now, and it is on your sprite.
Nice.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Sorry, we had mentioned it, 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
That it changes slightly.
I actually don't think I took more than 4 points of damage this whole time. Yeah, I just recovered 4 HP, despite
That's
all
funny.
the walking and fighting. Man, it really is. It's surprising because now I think I'm one-shotting a lot of the weaker enemies, and so I'm just
Yeah.
not taking any damage. It's crazy how much faster a trip across this, because previously that journey to that town felt like a real kind of going
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
my
right?
way. It was a real trek, but now it's just kind of a mild little, oh, okay, we'll just walk back to this other town. And it's not even that I'm fighting less. I mean, the fights are shorter, but they're not, we still have to wait for the transition in and out. I also really like the little, this is a point I meant to mention earlier, but one thing that I love that has stayed consistent, I think, with any RPG I've ever played, ever, regardless of when it was made, is that the intro to battle is always some kind of a cool, flashy effect. I feel like entering battle in an RPG was just basically a blank check for the developers to do. All right, what cool tech demo thing can we do with this
Yeah.
hardware?
Yeah. I'm thinking about
You can cut west.
Xenogears.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
thinking about Xenogears where it smashes the screen like glass.
Oh yeah, they did that once in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. They did that effect when you fight a certain character. That his battle intro. Oh, here's a scorpion. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But the other thing I like is, have you heard of Lagrange Point on the NES?
Yes, I started it. I have not gotten very far, but I started playing it once. Yes.
That does a really cool effect where it does this interlaced effect where it splits individual scan lines and the screen pulls apart like a zipper.
Oh yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
looking. And that game also, just the whole music is a tech demo because it uses basically a Sega Master System sound chip on the cartridge, and it's
Yeah.
staggering how good that game sounds. All right, I'm doing okay on health so far. All right, so this is actually this is kind
Yeah,
of
not as bad as I was remembering.
Yeah, I think
But
it's
I
to
might
the
have just
south
had a
when you
traumatic
get.
experience where, I crossed the bridge and immediately ran into the strongest monster you can find here,
Yeah.
and wasn't
Yeah.
quite ready for that. So I think that's probably what I'm remembering here.
Yeah, to the south, to the south of this like section, you start to fight like wyverns and
Yeah.
gold mans.
Mhm. Oh, here's a good question. This is a real zinger here. Do you wish that they kept the name Dragon Warrior outside of Japan?
Oh man,
I can live
Like-
with it either way, but I prefer Dragon Warrior. I hear Quest and I think a Sierra adventure game. That's what I want to play, you know. But I hear Dragon, and it's
boy.
like Dragon
Uh-oh.
Quest. It's like,
Woo.
oh, okay.
Man, there was a Magidraki. That would have been embarrassing.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
it-
it's a fair point.
Dragon Warrior just sounds better to me. It sounds stronger to me. Dragon Quest is like, yeah, we're going on a quest. We're going to do some stuff. Dragon Warrior is like, I am the warrior of legend.
Mhm. I can see that. That's fair.
This looks like a battle that we should, after we're done with this, head back and heal up.
I agree. Okay, 3. Man, every little point of damage counts. Okay, and I've got room for one more heal in case I need it. Let's get out of here. All right, back to. I'm gonna go back to the castle. I think I can make it. I can make
I
it.
don't know, but
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah, as soon as you cross the bridge, you were safe, basically.
285. We're getting close to the 300 I need.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you two, but this is fun. I am just this is transporting me back to a time when I used to sit on a couch with one or more friends and just play video games together and like do
Yeah.
exactly this except in person.
Yeah, no, I am definitely enjoying this. And again, like, it helps being such a nostalgic game for me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is part of why I'm so interested in playing these games, especially because they're all games that I never really grew up with any of these sorts of games. I mean, I did a little bit because this NES. I'm gonna point this out in the edit. I'm gonna cut in a little clip. This NES. I mean, there's nothing special about it visually, but it belonged to my grandmother, and so so when I was visiting her, she didn't have any RPGs. She just had a couple, average games. She had Super Mario Brothers 1, Super Mario Brothers 3. I think she had Tecmo Bowl and Top Gun as well. And Paperboy, man, we played that
Yeah.
game a lot. But this was in like the mid to late 2000s, going on 2010s and so. And so it was
Yeah,
more of
yeah.
we played the heck out of Super Mario Brothers 1 and especially Mario 3. But
Yeah.
beyond that, a lot of these games were really like they were experiences that were fun, but it was really just like mainly just because we had other people there to talk to and hang out. To us, these games were so simple, or in some cases just a little archaic, and so in terms of design, and so it was hard to really get used to them or get kind of immersed in them. And that's one of the reasons why lately I really enjoyed playing games like this and getting more into retro gaming, is to learn more about
Wait.
these experiences and to immerse. These slimes all running away is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a story then. Remind me about running away.
Okay. But it's been fascinating, like learning and talking with people who who grew up playing these games, or if not grew up necessarily, like since they were a little kid, at least when they were a young adult, in high school, in college, etc., growing up with these games, and who have these experiences of when these games were. These were the games. These were the games that you played. There were no others. This was our reference point. And so
Yeah.
it's, I don't want to say it's quaint, because I think that's not exactly the right word, but I find it more and more enjoyable, immersing myself in simpler times. As times for me grow more complicated, to be able to immerse myself in simpler experiences.
Exactly enough money. Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like it's so much more enjoyable to play this game with you folks here than it is to just do it by myself.
And I also feel like, it would be pointless for me to play this game again, right? Like, I could do this blindfolded practically. And so to play it with somebody who hasn't played it before, it's like, yeah, this game, right? Dragon Warrior, yeah, sure.
And I think it builds an appreciation for the games that we have now. Because whatever we're playing now was inspired by whatever the people making those games grew up with, which was inspired by whatever those people grew up with. And everything in the RPG realm traces back to some of the earliest stuff, if you follow the line far enough.
Yeah.
So being able to see where some of these concepts came from, some of the references, and even just appreciating, I am so big on just a very focused core gameplay experience. Like, I do enjoy games that have tons of replay value, so many different, it's got mini games, it's got all of these different, things that you can collect, it's got this and that. I'm like, yes, I do enjoy some of those games, but bottom line is I play games for the gameplay. I don't need a really fancy story, I don't need a million characters, I don't need a bazillion collectibles. I just want a good core gameplay loop. I want something that is consistently interesting for me to do, that makes me feel good about myself, or if it beats me up, it pushes me to do better and learn how the game works and really succeed. And this game does that, and other games like it do that, that it is just, here's a guy going around the countryside, beating up monsters, trying to live from one fight to the next. That's all I really need in a video game. And I appreciate when people can appreciate that who didn't grow up on that. Instead of just looking at this and saying, wow, this is boring. This is only like a fraction of what any game I'm playing now actually has to offer. Mm-hmm. Like, there is still value in the simplicity here. And I watch a lot of movies. And I watch movies from any decade, any country, any genre. And I feel like you understand people better when you understand what they like to watch, like to play, like to read, like to do. That immersing yourself in stuff that's like maybe from a different time and place gives you a better appreciation of people that you might not be able to relate to, because you understand where they're coming from with the things that inspired them.
It's kind of a personal enrichment in a way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, it's and you touched on a point there that I feel like really bears mentioning for me personally, because you mentioned, a game that just really wants you to buckle down and just focus and better yourself in doing what it's asking you to do, and that's just one simple thing most of the time. And I feel like that's actually one of the reasons why I often struggle with games like this, is sometimes, not to say that I can't handle a challenge, but in sometimes the simplicity, that was an interesting way to pronounce it. The simplicity and just the focus on just this one thing, Mega Man, for example. And, Joe really just needs to just pop in here. Did someone say Mega Man? And, that's a game experience that I also just personally have a lot of issues with getting frustrated by games like that sometimes, when they're just really kicking my butt. And I just feel like, sometimes I don't always feel like maybe as a result of growing up when I did with nicer, higher quality of life, or just different kinds of experience, I don't necessarily always have the temperament to get used to this stuff. But games like this, RPGs, I feel like are a little more my speed, something, kind of a link to get me to that point of, I don't mind spending an hour or two walking around the countryside grinding. I can immerse myself in that and appreciate the simple joys that the game is going for in accomplishing that task, and I can step up to meet it. And, maybe in some sense that could be a, kind of a gateway to getting more appreciative of, harder games, like, some of the Nintendo hard type stuff, Castlevania, Mega Man, and several others that I can think of but can't name at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like we've got to be getting close to a point where I've got that better armor, so I think the hurt spells are doing less to me here.
Yeah.
But now I've
Yeah.
got to figure out where the next place is to go. I saw someone mention a
So go
southern
south.
island.
So,
Just go south a little bit.
Oh, hey.
well, I do not think so. I think they were warning you about the island, right? They were like, don't go there unless you're ready.
Yeah,
So,
I don't want to go there. But, oh, you know
But
what?
okay.
do you have any torches?
I do have
Yeah.
one torch in my
Might be worth
inventory.
getting another 2 torches, maybe.
I think
Safe.
that's probably a good
Yeah.
idea. And
Because now we're looking at, what's the next goal? Do we want to find a new location to visit? Or do we want to keep grinding until we can afford whatever next piece of equipment we want?
I think I'd like to do a little more adventuring going on. However, I do notice that we are we're coming up here on a decent bit for this recording session, so it's probably about time to call it I almost said to call it a podcast, but that would be
Well, I mean, that's basically what this is. This is a podcast where we're talking about video games, and one of us happens to be playing in the background.
Yep, kind of. That's what I saw someone, and Jetty, I forget if it was one of your like burner accounts or something that you use for commenting on the YouTube channel. Sorry. Maybe well, you'll just hear a beep sensor. Cut that out. But it was on the tack for. Oh, I leveled up. It was on the tack where we were playing Super Mario Kart, and someone commented. I forget it was. They said, "I really like the vibe of college party in 1993 energy that this video has, where there's just people playing Super Mario Kart. 2 people are talking about this, topic of the progression of a video game series or etc. and various shows that they watch, and then occasionally there's interjections from the other 2 people of oh no, oh man, as various things happen in the game, and then you just hear the squealing of synthesized tires, and that I love that, and that's exactly the kind of energy that I appreciate in these sorts of videos. Is just what do I want to see in videos I watch, and that's just some good commentary backed up by a game that I may or may not even necessarily need to actively pay attention to, because it's just some good relaxing something or other, it's good relaxing mush.
So before we wrap this one up, I did mention
got
I had a story
spell.
about running away. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got the spell of sleep.
Oh, interesting.
All right.
So,
Which unfortunately you can't use on yourself to have an inn anywhere.
Dang.
You have to go back somewhere to sleep.
Versus. Yeah, and
But
that's,
yes,
yeah. Let's hear what you had.
so some of us of a certain age and time may remember AOL Instant Messenger, AIM, precursor to Skype, precursor to Discord, precursor to Microsoft Teams, all of that.
You've got
and
mail.
you could set an away message. So if somebody tried to contact you while you were unavailable, you would get a default message being like, leave your message at the sound of the beep kind of thing, whatever you wanted to put in there.
Mm-hmm.
I took a page from Dragon Warrior, and there was a way to put in the name, have it display the name of the person who was contacting you. And so, like, if your username was, like, The Jetty, it would say, like, The Jetty draws near, command, and then it's, my username is running away. That was my away message.
That's great.
Wow. That is nice.
Oh, that's wonderful. But we will have to save more wonderful stories like that for the next episode. So until next time, we'll see you all later.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
See ya.